Hi everyone, Budget Stark here. Thanks again for tuning in. Today's video is Hammerhead Mark 37 from Iron Man 3. This is made by King Arts. I don't think there's any other manufacturer at the moment that's made a Hammerhead Mark 37. So this is maybe a first in terms of a first look video at this particular armor. I don't know why, but it doesn't seem to be a very popular one in terms of demand. It's an underwater armor, so it's definitely a lot bulkier, a little bit larger in terms of the other armors like the Mark 42, 43, stuff like that. So I'm going to show you very quickly the accessories you get before do a quick comparison in size wise, and then just a overall look at this particular armor, a little bit of articulation and the light up features. It definitely does not have as much accessories as the other armors released by King Arts. The Mark 42 had additional hands, relaxed hands, repulsor hands. The Mark 43 had extra rocket launcher on the gauntlets as well as the relaxed hands and the articulated hands, etc. This one doesn't have any accessories, replacement parts, battle damage parts, or interchangeable hands. It pretty much what you see is what you get. The only additional extras you get is this base, which is a very nice base. Nice design here by King Arts where they've hidden the flap for the sockets for the posable stand under this flap, so you can hide it away if you don't want to use it, and it lights up very nicely, very bright there, you can see. So that's the base, and these additional tools, these are for putting in the batteries for King Arts figures. Because King Arts are 1 in 9th scale, the batteries are small and so are the figures. Because King Arts have recognised that they can be quite fiddly, they manufactured these specific tools to help you fit your batteries in. I'll show you that right at the end, very simply how to put the batteries in, but it's pretty easy, and that's pretty much it in terms of accessories. You get the clamp, tweezers, and so let's move on and have a look at the armor itself. Let's move this box out of the way. The first thing I think you'll notice is the coloration. It's a very light sea green almost, if that's the right sort of terminology for it. Remember, all designs, color, armor is approved by Marvel. When I first saw this in Iron Man 3, I thought the color looks too light. Then I re-watched Iron Man 3, that specific end scene, and because it's filmed at night, or the setting is at night, everything is a lot darker than it should be. So I did a little bit more research and looked at the coloration of this particular armor, and this actually is a very accurate representation of how the color should be. This is the view from the back, showing off how bulky this armor is. A little bit later in this section of the video, I'll show how this compares to the Mark 42 and the 43 side by side, and you can see exactly how bulky it is. A couple of warnings: because this is a much lighter paint scheme, paint chips, any scuffs, scratches, things like that, it'll definitely show up. I think it's purely because of the lighter coloration. Any scratches and dents will show the metallic color underneath, so that will definitely stand out. So please be aware and be delicate with this particular figure. You can see a lot of rivets and general gold sections of this particular armor. It also has light up features as usual from the helmet, the arc reactor, the hands and on the feet. From what we can see, all the Mark 42, 43 and 37 Hammerhead, all the feet light up, whereas in Hot Toys they do not. So I'm going to show you the light up features and some articulation in a moment. So let's get this set up. Let's put on here the Mark 43. So this stands at around 9.5 inches. See here, about 9.5 inches. The Mark 43 is a little bit shorter, just over 9 inches there. And let's get in a Hot Toys 1 in 12 scale, so you can see the size in comparison to that. So that's it there. At around just over 12 inches. Let's swap these so you can see the size. There you go. So a couple of inches, about 3 inches or so shorter than the standard 12-inch figures. Let's check out the articulation very briefly in terms of what it can and can't do, and we'll finish up with how to put the batteries in. I've just put him in a rather unusual pose, just so that you can see the light up features. In terms of articulation, the legs are excellent. Just like in the 42 and the 43, this bit drops down. The legs drop down and can pull outward slightly. The arms are very articulated, can pose pretty much most angles. The only issue that I think is going to be seen is the midsection here, where all it does is lift up slightly, but there's no real twist and there's no crunch. So I can understand that with how this arm is designed. So I thought I'd just show you just so how articulated this is. You can see it's not leaning against the back at all. It's standing pretty firm on its own. I've got him in a little bit of a head twist, like so. I'm going to switch off the lights now so you can see how bright the LEDs are. They're pretty bright, especially the feet actually, and the arc reactor, the helmet, and the hands has 3 LEDs at the top there. Other than that, nicely designed, very articulated figure from the waist down. The middle section and the sort of ab crunch section is non-existent, so don't expect him to get in many twisted type poses. So that's pretty much it in terms of the light up and the articulation around the body. Here's a direct comparison between the 42, 43 and the 37 Hammerhead. I think you can see quite clearly it's much bulkier than the others. Height wise, just a tiny bit taller than the 42 and the 43. Just going to show you a quick side view. So this is how you put in the batteries with this tool. This is probably the best design tool that King Arts have done, and is very, very useful. So just going to show you, that's how you slip in the batteries. The flat portion of the battery goes in towards the slightly longer end of this tool. You use the longer end of the tool to push the spring to the side, like that. Once it's inside, you push down on the plunger to release the batteries, and it's in like that. You see it's gone in? Press the on button, and there you go. Arc reactor lit up. So this tool is extremely useful. Nice design by King Arts to include this, to put the batteries in. Much easier than before, so I'm glad that they've done that. So that's pretty much all I want to show you guys. Thanks for watching. Catch you all at the next video.